Alright folks, welcome back to the channel. Things might seem calm around Celtic Park right now, but don't be fooled. The gears are turning behind the scenes, and we've got plenty to talk about. It's one of those days where on the surface, nothing big's happening, but dig a little deeper and you'll find the club's future quietly being shaped. So get yourself settled in, because even if it's been a slow news day, we're diving into some potentially major developments involving player exits, possible arrivals, and some really interesting interviews from the current squad. Let's kick things off with the name on everyone's lips right now, Greg Taylor. Now we've been watching this situation unfold over the last few weeks, and to be honest, it's starting to look like his time at Celtic is coming to a close. Taylor's contract situation hasn't moved forward, and you'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who thinks he'll still be here when the new season kicks off. After the Scottish Cup final at Hampton, his body language said it all. It looked like a goodbye, a thank you for everything moment, and not just another end-of-season wave to the fans. Now it's gone a step further. Reports from Greece, picked up by the Scottish press, claim that PAOK, one of the top clubs in Greece based in Thessaloniki, have made a formal offer to Greg Taylor. They see him as their priority signing to strengthen their defense this summer. According to these reports, they've put a 2-year deal on the table with an option for a third, and they're offering a significant pay rise compared to what he's been on at Celtic. That's a big move, and it shows just how much they rate him. What's interesting is where Taylor is right now. He's not at Lennoxtown or relaxing somewhere in Scotland. He's currently on holiday with his family in Dubai, and that's where PAOK are waiting for a response. So while we're all wondering whether he's going to sign a new deal or not, the Greeks are already sitting with a pen and paper, hoping he'll say yes to the move. It's got all the signs of being a done deal waiting to happen. There's no official word yet, but all the clues are lining up. We're talking about a guy who's 27 years old, not over the hill, but definitely in the phase of his career where a solid contract matters. A move abroad at this age makes sense. You got a chance to play in a new league, test yourself in Europe with a club that competes regularly in continental competitions, and let's be honest, secure a bit more financial stability. The length of the deal is short, which tells you this might not be a long-term farewell to the British game. He could very well be looking at this as a 2-year experience abroad before returning to the UK. Of course, for a long time, the main link was Dinamo Zagreb. That always felt like the obvious next step. They're a strong team, always in European competition, and stylistically not a million miles away from what Taylor's used to. But then they went and sacked Fabio Cannavaro back in March, and that seemed to kill off any real movement there. Since then, things have gone quiet on the Croatian front, and now PAOK have stormed to the front of the queue. Let's not pretend this would be a shocking move. Greg Taylor's been a good servant to the club. Solid, hard-working, dependable. But in truth, he's never been the kind of left back that's impossible to replace, and I say that with respect. He's had his moments, he's played in massive games, and he's helped us win trophies. But you can tell that Brendan Rodgers and the recruitment team are already planning for life without him. We've been linked to other left backs, and not just in passing. There's been serious talk about players like Hurley Mills coming in. That kind of noise only happens when a departure is basically a done deal. Look, I wish Greg all the best if he does go. Playing in Athens every week, maybe getting some Champions League or Europa League football, better wages. Who wouldn't take that? It's a great opportunity, and honestly, I'd be jealous seeing him soaking up the sun while we're playing away to St. Mirren on a rainy Tuesday night. It's the kind of move you don't turn down if the numbers make sense. And for someone, at his stage in their career, it could be the perfect time. But here's the thing, this move, if it happens, is going to have a ripple effect. It's not just about losing a starting left back, it's about reshaping the defensive side of the team. And that brings us to the other big name that keeps popping up, Kieran Tierney, the prodigal son, the local boy who made it big down south, and might just be heading back to where it all started. Let me tell you right now, the buzz around this one is real. Tierney's time at Arsenal is coming to an end, that much is clear. They've already done the farewell interview, the emotional goodbyes, the social media tributes. All signs point to him coming home. We've already seen the photos and videos floating around online. He's back up the road, he's been spotted with mates, and even his barber's confirmed he's in town. When your barber's breaking. Transfer news, you know things are getting close. Officially, we might have to wait until the 1st of July. But let's not kid ourselves, the deal's in motion. Whether it's being held for the away kit launch or just waiting for all the paperwork to be done, it's coming, and what a signing that would be. Let's be honest, we're lucky to be getting him back. Injuries down south might have limited his time on the pitch, but there's no doubt about the quality Tierney brings. He's still got that fire, that determination, that connection with the club. The fans down in London adored him, and everything we've heard from inside Arsenal suggests he was just as loved in the dressing room. That's the kind of player you want leading from the back, someone who bleeds green and white. But while we're all getting misty-eyed about KT coming back, there's other business on the go. Over in Germany, there's been a fresh development around a name that's been linked to us for a few weeks now. Yusuf El Kakati. Now, for those not familiar, he's a young striker who's just had a cracking season in the Dutch second division with Telstar. 25 goals in 45 games. A proper number 9, physical, good finisher, and still on the up. Celtic have reportedly had an eye on him, and tonight things just got interesting. Word out of Germany is that he's turned down a move to Hanover at the very last minute. That's right. He apparently had an agreement in place, everything lined up, and then he pulled the plug. Why? Well, here's where things get juicy. The rumor is that he wants to join a club that's playing European football. And right, now of the clubs he's been linked with, Celtic are the only one that fits the bill. Now, I'm not saying he's definitely coming, but let's be real. You don't turn down a move to the second tier of German football unless you got something better lined up. It's one of those moments where you've got to read between the lines. He's not a superstar yet, but he's got potential. And if Celtic are serious about bringing in another striker, and let's face it, we need one, then Kakati could be an interesting option. He's not my first choice personally, but I like what I've seen. He's got the numbers, he's got the build, and he seems to have that hunger to take the next step. Whether that next step is in Glasgow remains to be seen, but it's definitely one to keep an eye on. Meanwhile, closer to home, a couple of interviews dropped earlier today that caught my attention. First up was Adam Ida. Now, his first full season in Glasgow has been a bit of a roller coaster. Some highs, some lows, and plenty of opinions flying around. Not all of them fair. But I liked what he had to say. He talked about getting into rhythm late in the season, finding his feet, and wanting to build on that momentum going into preseason. More importantly, he hit back at some of the criticism he's been getting, especially from former players who've been quick to write him off. Look, the guy scored 20 goals in a season where he wasn't even the first choice striker at the start. That's not nothing. Yeah, he missed a few chances. What striker doesn't? But the pressure at Celtic is huge, and not everyone handles it with the kind of maturity he's showing. He's acknowledging the expectations, and he's saying loud and clear that he's up for the fight. I respect that. We need players who embrace the challenge, not hide from it. And while the jury's still out for some, I've been backing him since day one, and I'll keep doing it, because I see a guy who wants to be here and make it work. Then we had Dyson Maeda. Now this one's a bit trickier. There's been a lot of speculation about his future, and he hasn't exactly come out and said, I'm staying. But there was a quote today that gives me a bit of hope. He talked about being in great form this season, both personally and with the team, and how he wants to keep that going. He thanked his teammates, thanked his family, and said he hopes to score more goals next season. Look, it's not a contract signing, but it's something. We all know how valuable MODRIĆ is, his energy, his pressing, his versatility. Losing him would be a blow. So any sign that he's planning to stick around is welcome news. I just hope it's more than words, and that behind the scenes the club are doing what they need to do to keep him here. Because we can't afford to lose too many key pieces this summer. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Whispers are swirling around Glasgow this week as reports emerge suggesting that Luka Modric, the Croatian maestro and Ballon d'Or winner, could be set for a sensational move to Celtic. While nothing has been officially confirmed by either the players' camp or the Parkhead hierarchy, the rumor mill is in full swing, and supporters across the city are daring to dream. The 38-year-old midfield icon, who has spent the last 12 years lighting up the Bernabeu with Real Madrid, is understood to be considering his next steps as his contract with the Spanish Giants comes to an end this summer. With limited playing time this past season and whispers of a shift towards youth within Madrid's ranks, speculation has grown that Modric is looking for a fresh challenge before hanging up his boots. Sources close to the player have reportedly indicated that the Croatian is intrigued by the idea of experiencing British football, and the prospect of Champions League nights under the lights at Celtic Park could prove to be a tantalizing lure. Celtic, for their part, are believed to be monitoring the situation closely, with some suggesting that initial contact may have already been made. Of course, such a signing would represent a seismic statement from the Glasgow Giants, adding a player of immense pedigree and experience to Brendan Rodgers' squad. There are also murmurs about the financial implications, with questions being raised as to whether Celtic could realistically meet the wages of a player of Modric's stature. However, insiders point out that Modric is less motivated by money at this stage of his glittering career, seeking instead a club where he can continue to play at a high level and inspire the next generation. The Croatian legend has remained tight-lipped amidst the swirling speculation, fueling further intrigue among the Celtic faithful. As always in football, time will tell if there is substance behind the whispers, but for now, the mere possibility of Modric donning the famous green and white hoops has set tongues wagging across Scotland and beyond. Whether this rumor becomes reality or fades into the annals of transfer folklore, one thing is certain. The thought of Luka Modric gracing the turf at Celtic Park has already captured the imagination of supporters everywhere. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.